So here's the altcoin that I would not mind putting everything into. I will bet my entire reputation, my entire livelihood, including my family's savings on this coin. I am very serious about it. When I say this, I am not joking. Not only is it my favorite altcoin, but it's also the basis of my research. My entire theory was formulated off of what I'm talking about in this video today. This is without a doubt the most slept on cryptocurrency in crypto right now. Many people know about it, but they don't know how serious this is. I believe under the hood of this investment, there's 50x's, 100x's, and like I said, it's the basis of my core theory of finding 100x coins. And just to be clear, I am not getting paid by this coin to promote it, and I have never got paid for any coin ever to promote it. And I'm saying this, if I lie to you guys, I could literally get sued or go to jail. According to the Securities Exchange Commission, a failure to disclose cryptocurrency promotion payments is a violation of the anti-touting provisions of the federal security laws. So I go to jail or get sued if I lie to you. I am not getting paid to promote this coin or any coin on any of my social medias ever. And if you're new here, my name is Alex and I've gone through pretty much everything. I grew up with nothing. I came from nothing. I grew up robbing people, selling drugs, Grand Theft Auto, home invasion. You go through the board, and crypto helped me get out. I pretty much live a double life. I try to do the safe, right, and proven route like everybody else, like working a job, saving up for a degree, while selling weed at the same time. I used to have 2 jobs, sell weed, and I would rob people, and I still did not have enough money. And once I found what I'm about to tell you right now, my entire existence changed. I remember sitting in my room making this decision if I'm going to stay in college or not and go down the safe, right, and proven route of going to college, getting a degree, working a job, and then eventually retiring at 65. And then I started doing the math. So what I did is I updated the math for you guys today to show you that it's not really safe, right, and proven. As you can see right here, according to the real median household income in 2023, if you make $80,000 household income, you could probably put about $222 into some type of investment per month. And that's if everything goes perfectly right. So I made a decision that I want to retire at the age of 65 with $1 million. So I can do whatever I want from 65 till I die. I started doing the math and I looked at the S&P 500. If I take that $222 at 10% a year and we compound it, it'll take about 41.5 years to get $1 million and retire. Now that seems normal because if you're 20 years old or whatever the case is, that's like 61 years old. But this does not take in consideration inflation. There's a concept called purchasing power, the power of your money to purchase items. And inflation is about 3% a year. So $1 million today will feel like 300,000 in 40 something years. So that's not $1 million of retirement. We need more money to offset inflation. When I did the math to offset inflation, this is when my entire life changed. I realized that according to the math and the S&P 500 and the safe, right, and proven route that everybody picks, I needed 58.5 years just to become free, and I'm gonna be 80 years old. This is modern day slavery. They used to physically enslave us. Now they enslave us through money. When people talk about money, it's this nuanced subject. Like, I don't want to do it. I just go to work and pay my dues and do what I have to. No, you need to make more money if you want to become free. And crypto allowed me the multiplication in my life to give me this freedom financially. And so for the past 8 years, I have crafted this formula through trials, tribulations, making millions, losing millions, letting go of 40 employees, being a drug addict. I mean, everything, bringing my life to Christ. And he showed me this. You earn money through cash flow. You keep it by not spending it on taxes and putting it in investment vehicles. And then you learn how to multiply it. That's investing. And the most powerful is the multiplication on your money. It's simple math. And cryptocurrency is the greatest multiplier on the face of the planet for the past 100 years. And that is what my channel is about. And that is what everything I do when it comes to public social media. So I invite all of you to take the road less traveled. There's going to be people that do not believe in you, that try to stop you, that try to make it hard for you, that doubt you. But if you take the road less traveled, you'll get what nobody else gets. The struggle is going to be hard, but it's worth it. And according to the math, you have no other option. If you want freedom, you have to learn how to multiply your money. The struggle is worth it. What else are you going to do in this world? Catch that. The pursuit is not to make as much money as possible. That is not what it is. But if you want to help people, the Bible says there's 2 laws to fulfill all the commandments. Love God with all your heart. And then loving others as you love yourself is ministry. And so I want to fund churches. I want to advance the kingdom of God. And at the same time, I want to put money in my bank and I want to provide an inheritance for my children's children. The struggle is going to be hard, but it's worth it. And that's what we do. Excuse me for the screaming. I'm passionate. If I had to comprise my entire 6-year journey of being in crypto full time, it would all be boiled down to this one sentence. My entire strategy is built on catching what's inevitable before it becomes undeniable. Meaning it's inevitable. It's going to happen, right? Before everybody knows it happened. And that is what I am going to lay out for you in this video today. The global elite are quietly rebuilding the financial system. And when I mean quiet, it's quiet. Not even people in crypto know about it. And Aerodrome Finance, the coin I have been talking about for almost 3 years now, sits at the center of it. Coinbase holds the keys to all spot ETFs as the custodian, okay? They're built on Base, which is the best layer 2. Base has no token, guys. So all that liquidity goes into Aerodrome, okay? The Clarity Act is setting up a hybrid system that we've never seen before in a centralized exchange to basically get past these compliance issues, right? Through Aerodrome Finance, Uniswap is getting beat, and Aerodrome's already showing signs of beating Uniswap, which is the #1 decentralized exchange in the world right now. And this is not like willy-nilly guess stuff. They're colluding, they're coordinating, and this framework is being rolled out in real time. And I'm telling you, nobody knows. Everyone knows of Aerodrome and they know it's a good investment, but they don't know how serious this is. And also at the same time, this is the exact same theory that I've used to formulate the purchase decisions on my 100Xs. And I'll explain exactly what that means towards the end of the video. So the first point I want to make, please take notes, is that Coinbase is the main custodial partner of 87% of the total crypto ETFs asset under management. That's a rough calculation, but basically we could say, and I think with a high certainty, and I think everybody would agree, that this bull run for Bitcoin and everything we're currently experiencing in the past like 2-3 years, the primary driving factor was the spot ETFs. It changed the entire game. And see, the thing is, Coinbase is the custodial partner for them, meaning they literally have the money on Coinbase. Like all that money, the billions of dollars, 87% of it is through Coinbase. Now listen to why I'm saying this. It's not about the 87 million and it going into a coin, right? And then pumping the coin. That's not what it's about. What it's about is like, we need to watch the money. They control all the money, okay? In this case, and there's many other cases I'm going to lay out for you where they have a lot of control and a lot of connections that we've never seen from any other entity in crypto. Now let's take a look at USDC. So if we look at USDC, it's a stablecoin, obviously the second biggest stablecoin on the market behind USDT. But not only just that, you got to understand that Coinbase and Circle have been colluding since the beginning of time. So I remember back in the day, you could redeem like $10,000 for free into USDC. And there was no other crypto that allowed you to do that. It was free. So if you went on Coinbase, you put your money on Coinbase or whatever the case is, you can get USDC for free. There was no other stablecoin. There was no other cryptocurrency that offered you that type of benefit. And so obviously they've been colluding since the beginning. Not only that, but Coinbase and Circle are strategic partners from day one. Public filings show Coinbase holds significant equity stake in USDC's parent company. So it's obviously a coordinated alliance. And I believe through these two entities and many other entities, including the Federal Reserve, they are coming together to make basically a monopoly. When it comes to the workforce, we've seen various cases of people working for the Federal Reserve and then working for Circle, people working for Circle, working for the Federal Reserve, people working with Coinbase, working with Circle. Essentially, there's a lot of hires and people going from here, there, that, and the third, whatever the case is. They are definitely close. And here's some clear examples for you guys, but this is not limited to this. There's a lot of collusion going on. I've talked about this in other videos from the Federal Reserve themselves. You got to catch how important this is. There's many books that explain this, like The Creature from Jekyll Island and things like that. But the Federal Reserve, I'm just going to make this blanket statement claim, they control the world's economy. They have a mechanism, which is interest rate policy, where they basically get to decide if we're in a bull market or bear run. And they control pretty much all of it. And then obviously it's not that, black and white. There's a lot of different mechanisms and different things. But I'm telling you, read the books, right? Understand the Federal Reserve. I think, diving into the Federal Reserve for a week is very beneficial to everybody's trading journey, so you can understand how significant. I'm making claims that they have dominance over the world reserve currency. The world reserve currency is the most used in other countries. So they even have dominance over other countries' financial situation. I'm not going to go into the details, but we have direct connections through hires and fires from the Federal Reserve to Circle, Coinbase. Not only that, but I'm going to make a claim. It's kind of crazy. Now, obviously, everything's theory, not direct fact. But what I will say is that I do have very clear on-chain evidence from the Federal Reserve themselves putting money. Maybe it's not them, but it's really close to them. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. If we take a look closely at the Genius Act that just passed, it's basically market making some stablecoins. Basically, if you're not a stablecoin in the United States, under the United States regulatory environment, they are going to phase you out within the next 3 years. And we know this is literally on Trump's desk, and he's going to sign it into law within like the next week or whatever the case is. So this mandates only payment stablecoins backed one-to-one by US dollars or treasuries, but any non-compliant coins like USDT and DAI will be phased out in the next 18 to 36 months. Basically, USDC is the only fully compliant US-approved stablecoin. So when they put this into law, they're market making USDC. They know this. They know this. So when I'm making a claim that Aerodrome has direct ties to USDC, it is not a small claim. It's not. It's huge. All the way up to the government. And sure, some of these stablecoins can change and get the, approvals necessary. But right now, Circle's like 3 years ahead. They already knew this. They already knew this. And Coinbase and Circle are built into the framework I'm talking about. This monopoly I'm talking about, they're all working together. If we combine that with this shadow quantitative easing perspective, which basically like these crypto companies are buying back government debt, they're injecting liquidity into our United States economy. It's a deeper concept. But basically, if we look at how much money is going into it, which by the way, Tether is the number one right now, they basically buy short-term T-bills and they're injecting liquidity into the market. Now the regulation is basically saying that they're going to have to change, or they're going to be regulated out of existence, which is crazy. Because if you understand how stablecoins work, just to give a simple explanation, if I'm a stablecoin issuer, why would I issue billions of dollars worth of stablecoins for no fee, right? Why would I make it free? It's because if we have a person that buys $100 worth of a stablecoin, right? That means that $100 goes to the person, and then the other 100, it gets duplicated. If I go into USDC with $100, that means they give me a basically minted out of thin air USDC. I get to use that for crypto. That's $100 of real money. But Circle now has that $100, and what they do is they actually publicly disclose what they do. Right now, vast majority of it is going into buying, government debt, putting money into the market by various mechanisms, not just buying back government debt, but they do various things. And it's all the money is kind of like in the United States government, is what I'm saying. They inject all of the money into the United States ecosystem, right? And so what I'm saying is this is really important to the government and to the Federal Reserve. Somebody's buying a lot of government debt, and it's coming from crypto. And if we add it all together, by the way, I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know this. I actually was recently researching it. A lot of these entities, these spot ETFs, they actually buy back government debt too, but it's like a spot ETF, if you kind of understand the mechanics behind it. You could buy Bitcoin through the spot ETF. They actually go buy the physical Bitcoin themselves. Some of you know this, some of you don't. Stay with me for sure. Stay with me, it's important. But they also have a lot of cash on the side, and that cash just sits there. And when it sits there, they put it into government debt. So they're not only buying Bitcoin, they actually hold cash as well to basically buy the Bitcoin if they have to have cash on hand so that the ETF doesn't go bankrupt or something like that. So it's adding up. This shadow quantitative easing thing, I've always kind of said it was really big, but I was always like, hey, like it's not that big yet. They're not really injecting that much liquidity into the United States. If you take this into consideration, it gets really, really crazy. So if you combine just these entities, and these are rough calculations, they're not fact, just rough calculations. If you combine all those crypto sector entities, they're number 7 in the world for people that are purchasing government debt in the United States. They're top 10. That's really, really significant. Really significant. That means that the United States has a massive incentive to make sure that they keep buying government debt, right? So this stablecoin thing, shadow quantitative easing, these treasury companies, I mean, spot ETFs, all this stuff is actually very meaningful to the United States government and the Federal Reserve. It's very meaningful. They want it to happen because a lot of government debt and a lot of liquidity is flowing to the system. And if the government debt is bought, liquidity flows into the system. That means that the United States prospers. That means that stocks go up in value. That means that we have a more stable economy, right? So this stuff is not small. It's actually really, really big and important. And see, the thing is that Circle and Coinbase, the two the two companies we've been talking about, are the first 2 publicly traded crypto native, meaning they came from crypto, they were in crypto first, they made everything in crypto, and then they went public in the United States. They offered their stock shares to the public, right? And USDC's evaluation did like the unthinkable. Like we haven't seen this in a very long time. It went from $7 billion valuation to $66 billion within weeks. It was one of the greatest public launches we've seen on the stock market in a long time. And so we're talking about the only 2 publicly traded entities. Like, are you pulling it together? Right? So this big mechanism of shadow quantitative easing of all these companies in crypto, buying back government debt, injecting liquidity into the market, right? The only 2 that are publicly traded is Circle and USDC. Now, if you understand what this means, basically what Circle and Coinbase could do, and we've seen this with MicroStrategy, is they could actually say, hey, we're going to sell more of the shares of our, stock, and they could use that money to do stuff in crypto. So for example, Circle only sold 10%, I believe, initially through this public offering. But if they were like, oh, we're going to sell 20% now, they could take all of the money they made and it could dump it into building in crypto. And at the same time, they could actually go and buy back government debt through stablecoin issuing or whatever the case is. So in general, that's all, like, bro, you guys got to catch it. What that basically means is these companies are kind of like proxies. They're being used as proxies for the general public and everybody in the stock market. So everybody in the stock market buying into it, whatever the case is, and they're using all that liquidity to build exactly what I just told you, which is the entities I keep talking about: Aerodrome Finance, Coinbase, USDC, right? And Base Layer 2, which is they're all colluding together, right? And bro, it's going to get crazier. You think this is crazy. This is not even close to what I found. Out of the 3 most important crypto bills, right? We had one of them that passed, but we have another one that's probably more important. It's called the Clarity Act. And we've made full videos on this as well. Please refer to my other videos. I've made like very deep breakdowns to confirm what I'm saying here. If I had to break down everything, it would be like a 16-hour long video. But basically, the whole point of the Clarity Act is to take every single cryptocurrency asset and put it into 2 categories, which is either a commodity or a security. And they have specific frameworks for that, which is basically based off of decentralization, which is based off of the Howey test. I'm not going to go into that and which one is a security or whatever the case is. But when that happened and there was kind of buzz and hype around this bill, and they see that it was getting passed, we saw a partnership in a weird way we've never seen before. And this partnership is Aerodrome Finance partnering with, you guessed it, Coinbase. We knew this was going to happen for a long time. I've been saying this for like 2 years. I was like, oh my gosh, they're market making Aerodrome because it's the only one on Base, basically. Like It's the biggest one on Base. They have the most liquidity. They have the most, all the buys and sells are coming from Aerodrome. I've been talking about this for a long time, but they made it official. And we've never seen this before. It's a hybrid model that solves this problem of navigating multi-agency oversight while preserving on-chain liquidity. What I mean by that is that basically there could be some coins that are securities and there could be some coins that are commodities. And in the case of Coinbase, now they have both options, potentially. I don't know how this is going to work out. Nobody really knows. I'm not like a lawyer, right? But basically what I see is that we could have a decentralized exchange and a centralized exchange. And some coins that are classified in a certain way can be put on one exchange, and the other coins that are classified in another way can be on the other exchange. And the significance of this is that obviously this regulation is going to happen. They know it first. They changed their entire billion-dollar business model to accommodate this new regulation that will likely be passed within the next 3 months or something. They know everything first. Why do they know everything first? And then soon after, one of the biggest investors into Ondo Finance, right? It's BlackRock. We're talking about they know it before BlackRock, potentially. We don't know for sure. But Ondo Finance immediately followed Coinbase as a confirmation, and they acquired Oasis Pro, which is a SEC registered broker dealer, right? And they basically, the only reason they purchased that company is to simply follow in this regulation, right? For the Clarity Act that I'm telling you. So it was Coinbase first, and then BlackRock followed. That's the level of inside they are in. They're inside. What I always tell people is like, when it comes to this stuff, they're probably like literally like talking to the government to create these regulations. Like whoever's involved in creating the Clarity Act, they're probably getting all their information from Coinbase themselves. That's like probably what it is. They're the only two publicly traded companies in America. Think about that. Coinbase, USDC. So who do you think they're talking to? They're like the most regulated cryptos or crypto companies on the face of the planet. And we can buy coins on their decentralized. Bro, are you kidding me right now? I was talking to one of my guys and we looked at basically the top TVL. You can see Aerodrome Finance is number 8. So like, oh, Alex, it's not winning yet, right? It's not winning. They're number 8 by TVL. And so this is what I've been trying to tell you guys. I'm going to read it again so you guys understand. My entire strategy is built on catching what is inevitable before it becomes undeniable. So not only is this like the greatest like undervalued experience ever, but the amount of credibility backing what I'm saying is insane. So the credibility's up here and the world has not figured it out yet. I don't see credibility from any other decentralized exchange or coin on the face of the planet right now. I do not see one that has that much credibility. And the world, again, has not caught up yet. This is a perfect opportunity, a golden window to make money. And just keep in mind, Base is a layer 2. So it stacks on top of Ethereum. But the thing about Base is that they don't have a coin. So all of that liquidity, I've been saying this since the beginning. You can go watch my old Aerodrome videos when I called it. That right there is one of the bigger reasons why Aerodrome has gotten so much liquidity. Base does not have a coin, and I think they're doing that for regulation reasons. They don't want to destroy their blockchain. I don't know. There could be a chance. I don't know why they didn't launch a coin. But Aerodrome is taking advantage of all of that liquidity. You got to catch what I'm saying. Which brings me to the next part of the video. This might make people a little bit uncomfortable in a good way. This might really open your eyes to the truth. And there's going to be a lot of claims here, but I can back it up with a lot of data. And it's pretty insane. I don't think there's not one person. I know there's not one person on the internet that has found this, or in the world. Or maybe there's some people that know about it in the world. Obviously, the people that didn't know about it. But you get what I'm saying. Nobody has found this. To the point, I'm not going to go into the details, or you can just take my word for it, to the point where the data I have on it, they literally changed the entire chart. They changed the entire chart, and all I could reference is an older video I did 2 years ago, because now when I pull up the same chart, they smoothed out the data and hid what I was saying. Oh my gosh. That's how, and this is not the first time I've caught something like this. I've seen something like this very similar with CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap had basically a category of all of the coins in Base. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs for a very long time about Base for 3 years. And I remember when I first got into Aerodrome, I was talking about how CoinMarketCap is owned by Binance. Binance is a direct competitor to Coinbase. So they did not list Aerodrome Finance in the categories of base coins. It didn't make sense because by the numbers, they were number one by a long shot. They had like 60% of all of the liquidity on base. So when you go to CoinMarketCap, you go to the base category, they were hiding it. And so we've seen this happen before. Trust me, I've been in crypto long enough. This does happen. They do change the metrics and numbers based off of somebody paying them, or they want to hide something. I don't know. They do this, but I have physical proof in my course. I put a video. I actually put it publicly as well the other day, but I want to show you the specific part I'm talking about. This is the type of level of crazy we're getting into here. And this isn't me saying that they changed the chart is not theory. It's fact. I know for a fact. I tried to pull it up the other day and I could not pull it up, but I had to like reference my old video. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I am making a massive claim that I do believe is true, which is the Federal Reserve printed billions of dollars, and somehow in like a 48-hour period of time, that exact amount that was printed flew into Ethereum to change the vote for pro-node dank sharding. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. It's EIP 4844, and the point of this EIP is to make it 94% cheaper for layer 2s like Base to operate. Let me go through it. Just take this slow. Write notes if you have to. March 12, 2023, the Federal Reserve launched a bank term funding program, printing liquidity to bail out Silicon Valley Bank. So this is a big topic. Everybody should know. Basically, the topic goes like this. The entire market crashed. And at the bottom of the market, we see FTX exchange file for bankruptcy. It's the top 3 biggest exchange in the world. And the thing is, when you file for bankruptcy, all of that crypto on the exchange has to go somewhere. Somebody bought it. So, think about it in the moment, right? We're in the moment. They're filing for bankruptcy. That means crypto is going to go further down, right? So it's going to go down more because the news of them filing for bankruptcy is bad. Oh my gosh, Silicon Valley, not Silicon Valley Bank. Sam Bankman-Fried is a horrible criminal. It should go down. No, the exact opposite happened. It went up. Somebody bought all of the currency. Someone bought all of it in FTX Exchange. See, the thing is with FTX Exchange is that they had a lot of their reserves on something called Silicon Valley Bank. And Silicon Valley Bank is a way bigger bank. That's not crypto related. It's actually Silicon Valley, which is like the biggest tech companies. And see, the thing is about Silicon Valley Bank is they had way more money than FTX Exchange. And they had so much money that when they went bankrupt, the Federal Reserve had to print massive amounts of money and give it to Silicon Valley Bank. So within that 24-hour period, we've seen a big spike in USDC, and I'm going to show you the video. We saw a massive spike of USDC that flooded into centralized exchanges, 4 to 8 billion, and it flowed immediately into Ethereum, directly into a protocol called Staked Lido. Now, if you understand what Staked Lido is, basically you can stake on Ethereum. But the thing about staking and a consensus mechanism of Ethereum, I think the big brain people are like, oh my gosh, freaking out. If you don't understand this, what I recommend is you take my transcript. You can go to youtubetranscript.com, YouTube transcript, I don't know, Google it. You can take the transcript, put it in the ChatGPT, and really comprehend what I'm saying. But basically, all of this money flowed into Staked Lido. In Staked Lido, you're allowed to give your voting power to somebody because that's how proof of stake works. The amount of money you have, if you put it into protocol, it increases your vote, and you could pass things. It's just like the government, but instead of like politicians, they have the amount of money you put into the stake. If you put a lot of money in the stake, you have a lot of voting power. If you put a little bit, you have a little bit of voting power. And then what Staked Lido is a centralized organization where you could put it in and pull it out, because the traditional staking method, you can't pull it. Once you stake, you can't pull your money out for a long time, I believe. I don't know if that's still true. But Staked Lido is like the biggest liquidity on Ethereum. They have the biggest pool. So what everybody does is they put their money in there, they give the voting power, they forfeit the voting power, they get the staking rewards, right? And so on that same day, somebody got a lot of voting power. And it just so happened to be that it was exactly, March 13th is when pro-node dank sharding went live. And so somebody wanted a lot of voting, somebody with Silicon Valley Bank, Federal Reserve, no one knows the exact entity, somebody, and I'm going to show it to you, put all that money on USDC, sent it to Ethereum to Staked Lido. Somebody had a lot more voting power, and then somehow EIP 4844, which is prono dank sharding, went live on March 13th, slashing layer 2 gas fees by 94%. One of the biggest upgrades that benefit, guess who? Base layer 2. And I'm going to pull it all together for you, I promise, because base layer 2 has a wallet where you could do 0 gas fees. We've never seen this before in crypto. Newer people are probably like, who cares? No, I'm telling you, they have a wallet where there's no gas fees, bro. I did it the other day. I didn't believe it at first. I went to go buy something. I did not pay gas. It's free. And so I don't know who benefits from prono dank sharding. I think maybe base. I think layer 2s. Are you catching what I'm putting down? And this is directly tied to the Federal Reserve. Let me show you.
They dealt with mostly stocks and tech companies, but the problem was that they had a lot of assets on FTX exchange. So they went bankrupt, and it caused this cascading down effect of bankruptcies, which there was a whole bunch more, but those were like the 2 biggest. But listen to this. The Federal Reserve, in response to the failure of Silicon Valley Bank, implemented several measures to stabilize the situation. This included the creation of the Bank Term Funding Program in March 2023. AKA, they printed a whole bunch of money in March 2023. Look at this. Guys, that's March 2023.
So that right there, that blue line is wrapped ether, right? You can see the big spike. If you zoom in, you can see the big spike. That's in like a 24-hour period. Around the same exact time, Silicon Valley Bank got bailed out from the Federal Reserve. Put 2 and 2 together.
This is crazy. Bro, like, this is giving me goosebumps right now. This is March 2023, and we see a whole bunch of new supply being minted and staked light out. And see, at the exact same time, guys, this is when the market came back. And USDC, look, this is the connection. Look at that spike of USDC. Look at that spike of USDC. That looks almost fake, right? Like, how the heck the USDC go up that? Look, the blue.
Excuse me, it's not wrapped ether. It's actually ST ETH, which is the stake light out ETH. Just to be clear with you, that blue line is staked, like the actual light out ETH. I want to be clear, because if you understand how the mechanism works, they actually mint the supply. So for you to do it, they mint a new supply, and a whole bunch was minted exactly right there, which is the timelines line up. And now the next thing, what I'm talking about, is USDC spikes as well.
Blue is USDC right here.
Look at that spike.
Right there. Look at that blue. That's USDC on exchanges. Listen to what I'm saying. So what happened here? What I believe happened.
So basically the gist is that the Federal Reserve had to bail somebody out. And around that exact time period, we see the supply of USDC on exchanges go crazy, like that spike right there. And at the same exact time, somebody dumped a significant amount of Ethereum into staked LIDAO around the same period of time for the voting of the prono dank sharding. And we see the same thing over here, which also lines up with the Federal Reserve. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. But hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. Obviously, some of this is theory. We don't know for a fact. But there's something going on. There's something going on. And it was exposed on chain. And the last time I tried, again, don't quote me on this. The last time I tried to pull this chart up, it was a little bit weird. I couldn't even see this anymore. And yeah, maybe I'm a little bit delusional. I'm not going to look into it myself. But I just wanted to give like specific data. I wanted to give specific data. I believe it's true. I believe it's true. In life, you can't verify everything to 100% certainty. But I do believe it's true. You know, if we look at all the other stuff, there's so much other stuff. You know, there's a concept in trading where it's like, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, looks like a duck, it's a duck. So like, I'm not going to sit here and like take it to Supreme Court, like, oh, the Federal Reserve, you know, I'm not going to do that. But I will say that it's kind of obvious. It's pretty obvious. And this is obviously very important for our research because again, USDC, right? Coinbase just partnered with Aerodrome. It's not just a regular partnership. You guys see these partnerships and you get numb to it. You see all these partnerships on the internet and you're like, oh, who cares? It's just a partnership. I get it. Most of them don't really matter. But in the case of Aerodrome Finance, it really matters. It's really, really, really crazy. And just to add, yeah, I actually did look up the chart again. And yeah, they scrubbed the data. That means they changed the chart. I don't know exactly how they changed the chart, but it does not look the same. As you can see right here, this is the same exact data on the same exact chart. It does not look the same. If you look at the original video, scroll back, you see these big spikes on both these parts here. They kept USDC the same. So USDC is the same, but the staked LiDAR, I'm not going to sit here and say they're trying to hide it because I don't know, but their data is different. And I think that's really fishy considering the severity of what I found, right? So look, let me just show you again. This is it. Scroll back, look at it. It's not the same. It's not the same. They changed the chart and it's the same. Look, ST ETH. And it's not the first time I've seen this in my career. There's many times where I've seen, organizations try to hide stuff and all these different things. I've seen it before. But obviously this is important if I'm making a claim that the Federal Reserve, Ethereum, USDC, and Base are colluding. Like, of course, this is important to look at. So I want to give you guys a little analogy when it comes to how this technology works for people and for sophisticated investors that do not understand this. I did not understand this for a long time. Ethereum is like the dirt. So they have advantages to it. It's not the properties of dirt, but just understand what I'm saying. They have advantages of security and decentralization, developers, infrastructure that nobody on the face of the planet has. The second best is 100 times worse than Ethereum right now when it comes to infrastructure, liquidity, everything. Okay? The only one that beats it is Bitcoin. But Bitcoin doesn't have they have smart contract capabilities, but they're weird. Ethereum's winning that game, trust me. Okay? Ethereum's the dirt. Base stacks on top, and base is the land. It's like the thin layer of dirt where we get all the trees, we get all the mountains. It's like the settlement layer. This is where people are actually moving. It's trees, cities, infrastructure, and it doesn't have its own coin, right? But catch this. If you settle a new land, let's say hypothetically you're in the gold rush and you're trying to settle in California or whatever the case is. If you're settling a new land and you have houses, say you have a community of 10 different houses and you guys are all self-sustainable, to get to a new level, what you have to do is create a really, really good marketplace. Marketplaces are important. Aerodrome is the marketplace. Every city needs a thriving marketplace, so because people trade there, it's how communities grow and it's how value flows. Because in the beginning of a settlement, what happens is everybody is self-sustainable, they're doing their own food, their own whatever. But we get to a point where they have to actually specialize. How could a doctor be a doctor if they're over here having to tend to the farm? He has to specialize and he has to sell his services somewhere, which is the marketplace. And his specialization is what allows the marketplace to flourish because he can sell his services, get dollars, and then trade it for food from another farmer. We need a really good marketplace. A lot of you guys are investing into cryptocurrency projects where their marketplace is trash. There's no liquidity, there's no technology, there's no credibility behind it. And what happens is all the coins that are built off that marketplace, they suffer. They all suffer. They don't do well. There's no liquidity flow. The liquidity does not move into the altcoins. I want you to think about it like this. Imagine if you were a early settler in the marketplace that was built in New York City. That means that when New York City grows, all of that liquidity, credibility, people, everything, your business could suck, but it would still grow because the marketplace itself is thriving. And by default, because you were there, you benefited from all the resources. So when I build this massive case, it's not just about buying Aerodrome finance, okay? Obviously, it's a good purchase. But I'm talking about all of the 100Xs that has already happened. One of the only, not the only, I can't say only, but one of the best 100Xs we've seen is Virtuous Protocol. And Virtuous Protocol was built in, you guessed it, Base on Aerodrome finance. So when I say all these things, don't take it like you need to take it for what it is. If I'm saying that the Federal Reserve has direct connections and all this crazy madness and it's all connected to I'm pulling it together for you. So again, Ethereum's the soil, right? It's the dirt. Base is the land. Aerodrome finance is the marketplace. And in the marketplace, the businesses in the marketplace are the coins that are being created. And the ones that build, if you are a coin founder and you're not on Aerodrome finance or Base, you're making a massive mistake. If you're an investor and trader and you're not looking at Aerodrome, you're making a monumental mistake for a fact. This is where it's at. Ignore the rest of the noise. This is where the 100Xs are being birthed. And this is exactly what I wanted to basically tell you guys. And just to put the cherry on top so we really understand what's going on, you know, also Base just rebranded their Coinbase wallet to Base Wallet. That just happened in the past 2 days. And this is the most advanced crypto app we've ever seen on the face of the planet. 0 gas fees for USDC transactions, as well as other, I believe it's all transactions. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty confident it is. I've made a trade the other day. It didn't cost any gas at all, which is insane. We've never seen that before, ever. We've never seen that before. No private key stress. If you've been in crypto for a long time, these things are probably going to freak you out a little bit. Another thing that's really crazy that I saw is you can connect to decentralized applications directly within the wallet. So that means that you don't need to go to a random link on the website and get robbed anymore. That it just basically takes away pretty much all phishing. It's right into the app. We have an automatic integration for Coinbase directly from fiat onto Coinbase, off of Coinbase. This is the app that's designed for mainstream adoption. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything on the face of the planet. I've never seen anything better built. It's gonna destroy MetaMask. For a fact, it's so well built. It's way better than MetaMask. Way better than MetaMask. And it's mainstream ready. I mean, you can't, I know retail because I teach people about crypto on the internet, and it forces me to have a deep understanding of the public. I need to there's one thing that really bothers people. Number one, the gas fee thing, no one understands. No one understands that you need Ethereum to send a transaction. It's weird, to be honest. Like, sending money should be free. It's weird that I have to pay a gas fee. It is weird. It's a weird thing. Not only that, but having a private key where if I lose my private key, I lose all my crypto. You know how many people I know have lost their private key, or it got compromised by a hacker and the hacker just took all their money? You know how many people, how many? It's one of the biggest problems that scare everybody away from crypto, of getting hacked and losing all your money. So this super app, combined with all of these other things, which we're going to bring it home for you, this is the new crypto power structure monopoly. I'm making that claim. I believe it's the most likely. It's even more likely in the short term than XRP. In the long term, I think XRP has like a really good, there's other mechanisms or whatever. But in the short term, like this cycle, this is where it's at. Ethereum is definitely the foundational layer 1, not Solana, not these other chains. Number 2, Base is the foundational layer 2. Aerodrome is the best DEX. Coinbase is the best centralized exchange. USDC will be the stablecoin. And they're being forced into, if it's all like being forced. Like it looks like a monopoly, bro. It really does look like a monopoly. So just to finalize this video, there's really 2 conclusions from all this research, of me researching for so long. I've been talking about this for a while. It's brought me to this moment here, and it keeps getting confirmed. There's really 2 major points you can follow, okay? Number 1, Aerodrome is obviously, from my perspective, from my life, a really good investment. Really, really good. It's gonna outcompete Ethereum. Really, like a lot. It could do a 10 to 20 to 30x. I'm not sure. No one knows. It's definitely going to outcompete Ethereum. I'm very confident of that. Number 2, the 100x's will be birthed on Aerodrome's DEX. So if a coin is created and it is not, the biggest liquidity pool is not on Aerodrome DEX, I will be very skeptical. So this, and I was talking to my group about this. This takes, I don't know, 100,000 coins down to like 10,000. Like, we don't know how many coins are on Aerodrome DEX, but it's like, this allows us to focus, because my goal is to research every altcoin in the entire market. That's my goal. I have a group. We have thousands of members. We have a system. It's very refined. They submit the coins to the database, exactly what we look for. So yeah, I do think if I have like 1,500 members, each of them do 10 coins, we're talking about, that's 7,500 coins researched. So if we can find a place to focus, which I believe is Aerodrome DEX, and we all bring our mind together, my entire community, and we just research every coin based off of the standard I've created in the past 8 years of trials and tribulations, the most elegant altcoin researching system on the face of the planet. I'm making that claim. It is true. It's the most elegant, legit research system, altcoin researching system, fundamental analysis system on the face of the planet. for a fact, if we could all use that system and attack all of it, this is what I'm saying in the beginning of the video when I'm telling crypto movement, the road less traveled. Nobody does this. They just want to shill you a coin, bro. Nobody takes this type of integrity, and they're just giving you coins that are loose research. They get paid by the projects. They say that they're an advisor for the project, but they spend literally 1 hour every year advising the project. They're not involved with the project. It's pump and dump schemes. It's marketing campaigns. They get paid. I don't get paid. We really do this. We really do this. I will research every single coin on Aerodrome DEX. And I will find the gems. It will be 100x, and it will be not just 100x. It will be a repeatable, consistent system to make money. I'm telling you. I'm making that claim. Listen. I hope you listen to this video. I hope it didn't just go through your ears and you get nothing from this. And you chase the next shiny object. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope. And if it does, at the end of the day, money's not everything anyways. Thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate you. Talk to you later. Peace out.